Welcome to Inspiring Hope with Lois Hermann, a podcast that explores protection, healing, and personal empowerment through meaningful conversations and real-life stories. If you're sensitive, intuitive, or seeking clarity in this busy world, you've come to the right place.
This is the Global Podcast Network, where executives and professionals connect, share, and inspire. Stay tuned for the conversations that drive success.
Welcome back to the show. We are excited to have our friend Lois Hermann joining us, our empowerment coach, metaphysical hypnotist, and founder of Lois Hermann and Associates and the Academy of Light. How are you doing this afternoon?
I'm doing fabulous. How are you doing?
Oh, all right. We got a lot going on in the world today, from car accidents, floods in the house, but I'm looking for the positive, sweetheart. So please. Yeah. So please introduce yourself to our listeners.
So I am Lois Hermann, and one of the things that is my signature is it came from a message from Archangel Michael over 30 years ago. He, through a very powerful client, he said, "You must ask for protection first, always, then healing, and then empowerment." So I've created it's the foundation of everything I do. It stems around working with protection first, because protection creates the safety that then allows healing and empowerment to unfold naturally.
Got it. Oh, well, I'm excited. I got to talk to you before, but there's people out here listening today don't know much about you and all you offer. I know you're global, but you are based out of New Hampshire, correct?
I work out of my home office now, and I have clients all over the globe, and I love, love, love it, because I'm a globetrotter, born in Japan, lived abroad 6 years. So I love international people. You know what? I have been to all but one state. Alaska is the last state, and I intend to get there when the aurora is beautiful.
Well, I'm excited you're back with us. Where did you want to focus for today? I don't have an email from you yet, but I don't know if you're going to send that for a rundown, or I could just ask, where are we starting today?
Well, no, I didn't have quite the time to send the email just now, but I will do that for next time.
Perfect.
Today, to me, it's all about protection. I really wanted to go into why protection and how, and just kind of a high level. Next week, we're going to deep dive into it. But what I wanted to talk about this day is Archangel Michael again. He said, protect across all levels: physical, mental, emotional, spiritual, psychic. He went on with financial, environmental. But think about it. We lock our homes, we lock our cars, we lock our computers, yet we leave our precious energy, that vital light within us, unprotected. And that is our life force. So many people are not aware of protecting themselves, especially if our focus is for light workers and spiritual seekers. These are the sensitive souls that understand this at some level. And protection promotes the safety, which stabilizes the nervous system. And then it actually allows you to improve your awareness, your empathy, your ability to sense and see and prepare a path for healing. Does that make sense?
Sure does. On a path for healing. We all want this path for healing. Please, please.
Yeah, there's so much strife in our world today. And so I've got some nuggets to share with you about how to protect from a lot of what we're exposed to. Because a lot of people jump into healing, but if we attempt to heal without protection, it leaves us vulnerable to reopening wounds or repeated injuries. And there's no way you can get to empowerment without protection, without being unstable, uncertain, and unreliable. So protection creates that safety that allows healing and empowerment to unfold naturally. And of course, I always learn the hard way. I don't know about you, but I'm always learning. And as long as I learn, as long as I get the nugget, then I'm good.
Always about those nuggets. I need to feel,
Yeah.
we all need to feel some love, some energy. And there's so much around us. I know we talked a little about all that, last time, but really,
Yes.
I can't wait to dive further in to talk about this potential, like emotionally, do like people like the release of energy and subconsciousness and all this stuff that's happening, blocking us, preventing us from going further.
100%. And I have to say that my first experience with this came when I was going through a very difficult divorce. I actually had a priest that taught me how to protect myself and my children from psychic attacks based on this emotionally toxic family member, shall we call him. And he taught me how to wrap them gently in bubbles of light and ask the angels to watch over them. That was 40 years ago. And I've been doing this off and on my whole life ever since then. And I have expanded upon that and learned so much more about the value of protection. So I learned that awareness without protection can lead to vulnerability. And so that protection creates that safety for everyone involved. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So can protect as a hypnotist, a lot of what I have learned to do is help people with their mental, emotional bodies. And yet, we need to protect our mind. And how does that unfold in our daily life? We all are exposed to everything in our media, and you're exposed to so many different people in your world. Those intrusive thoughts that kind of we get on that hamster wheel and they go over and over. And what it does is it lowers our energy and it disturbs our focus. Are you familiar with the book Power versus Force by Dr. David Hawkins?
No, I'm sorry. I know the author, but I don't know the particular work.
It's an older book, but he created a map of consciousness scale, a logarithmic scale from 0 to 1,000, which is a consciousness, awareness, enlightenment, whatever, all based on kinesiology, which is muscle testing. But guess what the lowest level energy is?
What?
Guilt.
Oh, really? Okay.
And how many of us were raised with guilt and shame?
Mm-hmm.
I'm raising my hand.
Yeah, right.
And low level energy and even fear, which we are exposed to throughout our world today. Fear is still, so low. Guilt and shame is like 30 and 50 on that scale.
Mm-hmm.
Fear is like 100, 100. It's very, very low. And it takes some courage and willingness up to like 200, 300 to shift. That's the bridge. Hope is the bridge to get to peace, joy, love. You can't go from one right straight up to the other. You've got to slowly work up to it. So what we have to do is pay attention when our mind, our thoughts are spinning on that negative. Remember that old saying, sticks and stones can break your bones, but names will never hurt you?
Yeah.
I disagree with that. Though somebody says they wound deeply. And so what happens is when we get a trigger by watching something, hearing something, smelling something, we go into that old thought that drains our energy and we ruminate. Have you ever done that way? You can't get that thought out of your head. It's like a song, a good song, plays over and over and over all day. That's a good thing. But when we start having those negative thoughts, what we have to do for every negative thought, we have to counteract it with 3 positive in order to neutralize it. Have you ever heard of that?
Oh, I'm learning about this stuff. Go ahead.
Yeah. So when you're mindful of where your mind goes, because your mind is a great creator, and that's what we're supposed to do. We are here as co-creators. And when when you're creating your show, you're engrossed in thought and energy and positive energy, learning to play the guitar or learning something, or they're creating, even sewing something that's creative. It keeps the mind productive and moving in a positive direction. When we get stuck in negative loops, creativity stops, enjoyment tanks. We end up spiraling down into that lower level guilt, shame, blame. And what we have to do is consciously be aware, my mind is over here. I would like to take control of my thoughts and move them up to a positive by protecting myself from thinking those negative thoughts. Now, we have to recognize that things happen. We all go through trauma in our life. What is the nugget that we learn from it? And then we can let it go and move into that next level of healing. But that's protecting the mind from going down into that quagmire, right?
Yeah.
So when we are protecting our thoughts, we then also have to deal with other people.
Mm-hmm.
So how do we protect ourselves without just shutting down? And, well, you know, the smiles are contagious. If you smile at somebody, mostly children, they'll smile at you back, and then they'll hide behind mom like, do I trust this person? But smiles are contagious. And smile is a good thing. I actually did an experiment once with a little book that a friend had given me. And when I was traveling, I played this game to see how many people I could get to smile in a day. And I was flying, and so I would just walk along, and I would smile at somebody, catch their eye, and smile. And it was interesting how many people would look around like, you know, who is this weirdo?
Yeah. I'm so about that, making the eye contact and being kind to people. It's amazing when they smile back, right? How they absorb it and feel it. And it's like, wow, maybe we made their day. Maybe we did something to touch them.
Absolutely, because that smile is an uplift in energy. That's an energy transfer that you're connecting with them. They smile back, they've received it. It's an unspoken communication, but it's a real communication, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So angry people also have a contagious energy. Have you ever been around somebody who's really angry and all of a sudden you start feeling agitated? And what we have to do is recognize, there's a little book, The Four Agreements. Don't take things personally. It's their stuff. Their anger is theirs. They need to own it. And there's nothing we can do. We could smile at them, but an angry person is not going to return it. What we have to do with that kind of person, bubble up, deflect your shield up, and just send love back and move away. Don't take it personally. Recognize they've got some stuff going on. We never know what's going on in another person's world. We've got to stay at a peaceful distance, but there's just so much hate out there right now. And so what we have to do is set boundaries for ourselves, protect ourselves, choose those who are sharing the love, who are going to smile back. And it's wonderful.
I love that feeling. And it's so funny because I'm from New York and people are critical of New Yorkers. And I agree. Like in New York City, it's hustle bustle. Everyone's out for themselves. No one holds the door. No one makes eye contact. There's not a lot of that. I live out on Long Island, thankfully. But there's something to be said about that personal human contact and connection and reaching out to someone like that with a smile, with the eye contact. It works wonders. Thank you.
And it makes you feel good, too, because you're keeping your energy, you're keeping your vibrational energy high.
Mm-hmm.
When you're around somebody and you notice that they're so down, there's another kind of the same time frame when I was doing a lot of travel, international travel. Have you ever been on a plane and there's a baby crying?
I'm so patient about it, but when you see people flipping out, it drives me crazy. They don't have any compassion.
No. And you know what happens is the baby is picking up on mama's energy. I can only imagine, because I was a mom and I was a traveling mom. You know, yeah, I'm traveling on business, for instance. That mom had to get herself ready, the baby ready, everything, all that she was going through. She's frazzled, and the baby's picking up on her frazzle.
Yeah.
So what I did for this one, I like to experiment with sending loving energy. So I gave the mom a nod, a smiling nod, knowing nod, like, I got you, I understand. Because she was embarrassed because the baby was crying and all these people are looking at her with scowls. It's like her fault. It's not her fault. She's already stressed. So I sat there, I smiled at her, and I sent her loving energy. I sent mom loving energy. Mom calmed down and the baby stopped crying.
Amazing, right?
It's fascinating. That positive energy, so we have to keep protected ourselves. And then we've got extra resources to share. But if we are leaking energy, we've got nothing to share. So we have to use the protection as a beautiful way of being able to have that extra resource to send to people who are in need.
At this time, I have to remind everyone who we're talking to, tell us how we can reach you if you don't mind before we take a quick break.
Absolutely. It's Lois at loishermann.com, and you can find my website, loishermann.com. Herman has two N's.
This is the Global Podcast Network, where executives and professionals connect, share, and inspire. Stay tuned for the conversations that drive success.
Welcome back to the show. Lois Hermann joining us here. We are talking about everything she does and can help you with clearing your storms and shine your light with her transformation, her energy, and how you can help empower and awaken yourself. So welcome back, darling. What else do you want to share with your audience today?
We're talking about protection because that is our foundation. And one of the things that I want to talk about is protecting our physical and our environmental spaces. Because that, again, Archangel Michael said ask for protection first around physical, mental, emotional, spiritual, psychic, social, professional, financial, all of those spaces. Our physical and environmental spaces. We have to protect our physical body first by choosing nutritious foods, healthy water, clean air, and release those problematic habits, which is what we can help with empowerment, hypnosis training, and hypnosis coaching. And that said, home is your sanctuary. So keeping it organized and clear and being very selective of who gains access, kind of like who are you going to give your car keys to? Who are you going to give your computer password to, right? So you want to protect what kind of energy comes into your sanctuary, your sacred space. Think about that. I just had several different, my cats would say strangers, groups of strangers in my house this past fall for different reasons. And they've been telling me ever since then, they didn't like it. Because people leave an energy signature, an energy trace, unless you set boundaries, and we all intend to, but you just never know. So gatherings of people are heavy energy transfers to especially those who are light. Those of us who are receivers and are light, we pick up the heavy energy from these people who are really dragging. So we have to protect our self, our physical self, our environment, and also from EMF and music and TV and news. And there's all these different ways that we are subtly influenced that our subconscious mind picks up even if we're not consciously aware. So we have to protect ourselves, our physical, our mental, emotional, and our physical self, which also includes our space.
Yeah, there's so much I think that people go through. And I'm just thinking, look, I had a really bad car accident last week. My car got totaled. I had a big flood in my house and I went to the hospital. I have a little bit of neck and chest damage, but I'm okay. But it's moments like these, which I hate to say, sometimes transform you and make you really start thinking about life. And I don't want this to happen to people. You should be thinking about this stuff now. Like, do you know what I'm saying? There is a process of transformation that comes with everything in life. And I'm just inspired to be alive, to be grateful, thankful, and even more so, live the best life. And not everybody has that attitude or can get that attitude until something maybe like near death experience happens to them. And I just love how, in general, we're just making people aware that there is purpose in your life no matter what. And now's the time because life is so darn precious. And I hope people, though, do, reach out to seek this help too. What are some of the transformation challenges do you think that people face most?
Exactly what you're talking about. You just had a situation where you were in the hospital. Can I tell you a story about a woman named Maria, not her real name?
Yes, please.
She was having problems with her legs. Now, I come from a background in diagnostic imaging. I used to do vascular vein mapping, so I understand the anatomy, physiology, pathophysiology of the body. This client had extreme pain in her legs from a prior clot. The body will recanalize. The body's amazing. Yet she could not heal. And this is a positive lady, uplifting, beautiful family. Well, what happened was when she was in the hospital, there was a lost soul, a lovely woman who died in a car accident who saw Maria and her lovely family, and she kind of hitched a ride with Maria. This woman had had a crushed pelvis, died from the crushed pelvis and her leg injury. So she brought her pain to Maria. Didn't intend to. She wanted to be with Maria because her family was so loving. So once we identified this idiopathic, the doctors called it idiopathic pain that Maria was experiencing, once we rescued this beautiful lost soul, this woman who had died and hitched a ride while Maria was in the hospital, once we helped her to transition to her safety in the light, Maria's pain was completely gone and it never returned. This unseen, this great unseen is incredible. And so this is why we have to protect. And once we recognize something is off, then we have the tools. My team has the tools to help you to shift it. Next week, we're going to do a show on this sort of stuff. But I wanted to share, like you're talking about being in the hospital, it's amazing the type of spirits that are hanging out in the hospital, and they will pick up on these beautiful, loving souls. And they bring their trauma, or physical pain to their living hope. Does that make sense?
Yeah, with what we're dealing with, what we're going through. What a story. Thank you for sharing that. And we still got 2 more minutes left. I just want to advise, how did you kind of want to end off on this?
Sure. So for people who are spiritually curious, you need to be mindful of the people in your energy field, even getting treatment. But what the most important thing is that protection is about discernment, about clarity and self-actualization. It's about producing a loving boundary. And once you have those loving boundaries, then sensitivity is a gift. The more protected we are, the more aware we can allow ourselves to be, which then leads to true healing and empowerment. So next time, we're going to talk about our energy clearing and alignment process, what it is, why it's needed, and how it's done very safely and compassionately. That's what I'd like to share next time.
And hopefully we'll have a guest on as well, right?
Yes, I'm hoping to as well. Yes.
Great.
My
And
partner.
perfect. And how can we reach out to you?
Lois at loisherman.com, my website, loisherman.com.
Oh, great. Thank you so much, sweetheart. You have a fantastic day, and looking forward to the next time we connect.
And I hope that you feel better after all that you're going through.
Thank you. I'm feeling better already. Thank you.
If something we shared resonates with you, I invite you to stay connected. Follow the show, share it with someone who would benefit, and explore more at loisherman.com. Until next time, look up, stay positive, and be the light in someone's day.